I graduated college and began my career in summer of 2022. And within just 16 months of starting my career, I went from a $0 net worth to saving my first $100,000. And I didn't do that by picking lucky stocks, investing in crypto, or even buying real estate. And during that time period, I lost money on my YouTube channel, so that wasn't it either. All of the money I earned was just from my 9-to-5 job. So all of that to say, I didn't do anything special. I just followed the same repeatable steps that anyone can do, but that almost nobody actually does. But I know that somebody's out there thinking,
you just want to make this video so you could brag about your net worth.
And to that I say, yeah, you're kind of right. They say that the first $100,000 is the hardest, so this is a big milestone for me. But if I can save $100,000 in just 16 months, I can help you save $100,000 too. So if you give me just a few minutes of your time, I'll explain exactly how I saved my first $100,000 with just a regular job, the financial principles that you can use to do the exact same thing, and the financial advice that I always see, but that is actually completely wrong. And I actually want to start with that, because I was watching some videos of how other finance creators saved their first $100,000, and I actually totally disagreed with their advice. That's because almost all of the other finance gurus will just tell you to make more money. And that's so stupid for so many reasons. For one, it's not that easy to make a lot more money. These people act like you can get a 50% raise per year. Most people are lucky if their income just keeps up with inflation. And you can try to increase your income with a side hustle, but a lot of those don't pay that well either. And no matter what, they require trading even more time for money. But if you just spent less money, you could be saving literally thousands more dollars per year for zero extra work. And you could start right now. You wouldn't have to beg for more money from your boss, you wouldn't have to work overtime, and you wouldn't have to sell even more of your time for money by working a side hustle. But people are so obsessed with finding some wealth hack that they ignore the most obvious rule of wealth building. Wealth is just the difference between what you earn and what you spend. So just spend less. And if you have no idea where to start, I'll give you a ton of ways that you can save a ton of money at the end of the video. I know this is a bit of a rant, but this is so important. 51% of Americans that earn over $100,000 per year are still living paycheck to paycheck. And if that isn't bad enough, about 80% of NFL players go broke after just 2 years of leaving the league. Making more money is obviously not the solution. When most people earn more money, they just spend it. And that's why I get so frustrated when I see every other finance guru just telling people to make more money. That doesn't work, and they know it doesn't work. The only way that you're going to save $100,000 is by disconnecting your expenses from your income. In other words, if you want to save $100,000, you have to actually save $100,000. That sounds so simple, but so many people screw it up. So sure, you're not going to save $100,000 in just 16 months like I did, unless you earn a good income. But there are millions of people that earn way more money than me that still have far less in savings. So before I show you the financial principles that you can use to save your first 100 grand, I wanted to show you exactly how I saved my first 100,000. And I'm not doing this to brag. I just want to show you that I'm not full of crap. So let me show you how I did it. And really, there are just 3 basic components of building wealth, which I've talked about so many times on this channel and in the Fire Friday newsletter that I send out every week for free. The first is income. This is your savings cap. As much as I'd love to create money with the snap of my fingers, the reality is you can't save more than you earn. And if you take home $50,000 per year, the fastest you could possibly save up $100,000 is in 2 years. If you earn $33,000, it'll take at least 3 years. But again, most people spend almost everything they earn. Your income is the maximum you can save, but in reality, you can only save what you don't spend. And that's why the second component to building wealth is how much money you actually keep. If you aren't saving your money, then I don't care how much money you make. You aren't going to save $100,000. And there is one more way to grow our wealth, because instead of letting our savings just waste away in a checkings account, we can actually use that money to get wealthier. That's why investing is so important. Our savings can make more money. So let me walk you through how much money I earned, how much money I spent, and how much my investments grew. In the first 16 months of my career, I earned $122,052.99. Let me break that down just a little bit, because while that sounds like a lot, less than half of that money actually hit my bank account. Where I live, that's actually way below the average income. But the reason I took home so little is because I sent $33,000 into my Roth 401k and $12,500 into my Roth IRA during that time period. And then my regular 401k got the remaining $24,000, most of which actually came from my company's matching contributions. And remember, this is all across a 16-month period. Adjusted for a year, that means I had $91,500 in income across all of my investment accounts, including my company's 401k match. So obviously, I earn a great income. But even though I earned $122,000 across this time period, that doesn't mean that I get to keep it all. In fact, I guarantee that most of my coworkers who earn even more money than I do saved way less. During this time period, I only spent $27,212.60, which averages out to just $20,409 per year. That's literally about a third of the cost of living in my area. And since I spend so little, I'm able to save and invest the remaining $94,840.39. That averages out to $71,000 in savings every year. And in this short of a time period, investment returns really aren't that important. But I did earn an extra $8,403.61 from my investments. So after just 16 months of work, I had $3,400 in my bank account, about $25,000 in my personal investing account, and about $75,000 in my retirement accounts, to give me a total net worth of $103,244. I just wanted to share all of that so you see how I actually did it. There are no secrets to building wealth. So for the rest of this video, I want to talk about how you can save your first $100,000. I think it's a lot easier than it sounds, and if you follow the steps that I'm about to share, you're going to hit that milestone yourself. And the first lesson that I wanted to share is so obvious, but even in my private coaching calls, I keep seeing people ignore it. It doesn't matter whether you earn $30,000 per year or $300,000 per year. More income does not mean more savings. If you save 20% of your income, you'll retire just as fast as anyone else saving 20% of their income, even if you make a lot more money. And most people making a ton of money don't save very much of it. Remember, 80% of NFL players go broke after just 2 years. And that's why if you want to save your first $100,000, you need to start with just spending less money. It really is that simple. You'll only build wealth when you disconnect your spending from your income. More money will not fix your problems. And you can look at how I saved $100,000 for proof. I did earn a good income, but if all I did was spend all my money, it wouldn't have mattered if I earned $1 million. But because I spend around $20,000 per year, I get to save around 80% of my income. So even if I was making half as much money, or even less, I'd still be saving tens of thousands of dollars per year. That's the real reason I'll be able to retire before I turn 30. I really hope you understand why this is so important. So let me move on to the other two big factors that helped me save my first $100,000. The second powerful way to save $100,000 is to subscribe to Fire Fridays, my free weekly newsletter. I'm just kidding, you don't need to do that. But it is free, it is designed to help you reach financial freedom faster, and it is linked in the video description. But the real second factor is something not many people talk about. But by using this strategy, I increased my income by over $10,000 by literally doing nothing. Because here's the thing, most people do not earn what they think they do. There are two big reasons for this. The first is taxes, which takes out a massive chunk. This massively reduces your real income. But there are also company benefits, which can massively increase your income. And my company offers huge incentives to contribute to my retirement plan, which has helped me make an extra $13,000. All of that for literally doing nothing. So if you aren't getting your company match, you're losing money. And that's why it drives me nuts that 25% of people aren't getting their full employer match. I contribute as much as I can to these pre-tax accounts. While good old-fashioned frugality was the most important factor in saving my first $100,000, these retirement accounts also made a huge difference. And the only other factor we need to talk about is investing, which is actually a lot less important than a lot of people think. It's not that investing didn't help. My investments grew by over $8,000, which helped push me over the 100K mark. It's just that I didn't really care. I very rarely check my net worth, and I really don't care whether the stock market goes up or down. In the short run, the stock market is just too unpredictable, and that's why I didn't want to count on investments to save my first $100,000. But investments are the whole reason that it's so important to save your first $100,000 as fast as possible. The reason that's such a big milestone is that money can do incredible things for you. If you invested $100,000 for 35 years, that money could grow to over $1 million. But the longer it takes you to save your first $100,000, the less time that you'll have to invest. So if you only invested for 15 years, that money might only grow to $275,000. And that's why it drives me crazy when people my age say they're waiting until their 30s to start seriously saving for retirement. Even though you'll hopefully be earning more money then, you should not wait that long. It is so important to get started as soon as possible, even if you don't have a lot of money to save. So I don't really care about my investment returns so far, but in 20 or 30 years, I expect my investment returns to far outweigh my annual income. So if you take nothing else away from this video, I hope you've realized that saving your first $100,000 is very possible and very simple. If you spend less than you earn, then it's just a matter of time. And if you want to get there faster, then just spend less. You will get there. Taking full advantage of your company benefits and investing early might help too, but it's not nearly as important as just living frugally. But look, I understand that saving more money can be hard, and a lot of people just don't know where to start. So to help you have this same transition from broke student to six-figure net worth like me, I made a video just for you. It will walk you through 10 different ways to save an extra $1,000 per year, and maybe even a lot more money than that. And I used every single one of these strategies to supercharge my own savings. So if you do everything in that video, it won't take you long to save $100,000 yourself.